now on to all meetings orders, so everybody get in and Commissioner Carlson. Here.
Commissioner Alcacer?
Here.
Commissioner Friedman?
Here.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Here.
Commissioner Novak?
Here.
Commissioner Satter?
Here.
And Chairman Rowan?
Here.
We have everyone present.
So, before we start, let me just say we have once we now have a new member, Scott Novak. He's probably not going to be hanging judge, so don't worry about it. But one never knows. There, Scott, welcome. To the rest of the board, we've been together for this is going to be 2 months off because we would have applied with the zoning ordinance, but not do that. But welcome back. And Sarah, I told you this is not going to be our the first item I want to consider the August 7, 2017 zoning board of appeals minutes. They're circulated in the packet. Anybody have any comments about those, or is there a motion to approve them as written?
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Second item is a public hearing to consider a request of Allen and Sharon Colton for a floor area ratio variation. Their existing home on Lot 1 of the proposed 2-lot subdivision at 846 Greenwood Avenue. The property cannot be subdivided as proposed without approval of the requested variation. Anybody who's going to speak concerning the variation or anything else we do, you should raise your hand and get sworn in. And then, that includes if you're, is this your house?
Yes.
Okay, if you're going to talk about it, raise your hand, just so we don't have to do it later.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will be providing in this matter will be true and complete? Thank you.
So, whoever wants to speak first, by the way, did we get any gripes from anybody in town?
We did an extensive neighbor mailing, which you saw in your packet, and I did not receive any phone calls or email inquiries or questions from anyone.
Tell us who you are and why we should do this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Cal Bernstein. I am the attorney for the applicants here tonight. So we have a very odd request. I don't think you've probably ever heard one. This is we're looking for a zoning variance and we're not going to do any work. The issue we have here is that we have a house that was previously non-conforming. Colton's here, who are here tonight. They bought the lot next door thinking they were going to put an addition on their house and use that lot to put the addition on the house. So they went through the process. Unfortunately, the planning process went quicker than the planning process for their house. So as they were going through the planning process, they had to consolidate the lot in order to put the addition on. That was done. It was approved by the Board of Trustees, and the plan of subdivision consolidating the 2 lots was prepared, signed off, and eventually recorded. While this was going on, the Coltons were investigating the addition that they desired to put on their house. As that process went through, they realized that it was too expensive and it was unwilling to do that. So what they're trying to do basically is basically unring the bell. They want to go back to what the pre-existing situation was, that it's been like that for the last 17 years and existed before they bought the property in the house that's located next door to them. They basically just want to unring the bell and start over and have that lot as a separate lot of record and also have their house. There's going to be no work done to their house. We're seeking an FAR variance for an already existing situation. So if you look at the standards and how this applies, because again, this is a unique situation, obviously, because they're looking to do a zoning variance for work that they're not, for no work. So the first standard is with regard to the requested variations in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning code. Obviously, sure.
For a second, as I understand the problem, is the zoning
Yes, what happened is that this property was the building permit for this property was issued early in 2000, and 6 months after the building permit was issued, the zoning code was changed to change the FAR, the allowable FAR in this house. So this property was grandfathered in, it was constructed, it met all the standards at the time, it met all the zoning requirements. So, but for the fact that the zoning code changed, we would not be here tonight, because their house would still be compliant of the old zoning code.
It would have existed, and therefore would be grandfathered in under the old code. But what this probably means is that when if somebody decides to build, they're going to have to get a variance. They need a variance if they build something that's not really tiny on the second lot.
Yeah, but again, the second lot, that they'll have to adhere to what the current zoning code is with regard to how big of a house they can build on it. I believe it's an 18,000 square foot lot.
No, I think I get it. Yeah. So 100 years ago, I was on the village board, and there was a group of folks on the zoning board. This is the kind of thing where you come to the zoning board and they would say, you make a mistake, we can't save you from your error, and, but I think we probably have a different approach. And maybe when like I said, I don't want to stop you, but
that's okay.
I have a feeling the way this is going to go. Does anybody have any questions about this? When I ask you
I do.
Okay.
So, when you bought the house, when you bought the property, was there a house
Yes.
on the property?
Yes, there was.
Okay, and is the house still there?
No, it was demolished.
Okay.
Again, that was in the process of constructing the addition, because the whole idea was to use that property to build an addition to their house, and then they decided not to go forward with that. We did investigate moving the lot lines and seeing if we move the lot lines, is there any way we could comply with the now current FAR, and there was no way of doing that and still keeping that as a buildable lot next door.
Is the intention, maybe long-term intention, to sell lot 2 in and of itself?
I mean, there's maybe long-term, there's no short-term idea. What they do is want to have the flexibility going forward. But probably the most logical thing is somewhere around the future they will sell. It's just to have the same character of the neighborhood that was been pre-existing for forever, is the fact is that there's always a house on that property. So the intent is at some point to sell that lot.
There's a lot of money at stake there.
Yes.
How big or small would you be able to build on that lot 2?
It's about 18,000.
It actually exceeds the minimum zoning standards for a lot in that zoning district. This is located in the RB zoning district. The minimum lot area for a newly created lot is 13,000 square feet in area. This is 18,000. The minimum lot width for a newly created lot in the RB district is 80 feet wide. I believe this is 89 feet wide. So it exceeds the standards it's above the minimum requirements.
Deborah Moore?
Yes, I have a question. Just to understand the motivation for doing it now, even though you're not looking to sell, is just to kind of get it out of the way so that it's ready.
Yeah, I mean, we have a story to tell, obviously, because this just recently happened. This happened last year, and basically the applicants are here trying to correct a mistake that they made. They didn't realize that the planning process would happen so quickly that the lots would be consolidated before they actually did get their numbers on what the addition would eventually cost.
So, and this is the first step. You then have to subdivide.
Yes, what we have to do is, I believe, go to the Plan Commission and eventually to the board for their approval. So this is the first step of 2 more that we must take if we go forward.
And because I wear several hats like you sometimes, I'm also the staff liaison to the Plan Commission, and I know they have a set of standards that they review when they're considering subdivisions, lot consolidations, etc. And one of those is that the subdivision will not create a zoning nonconformity, which essentially is why the applicants are here tonight, because essentially subdividing it back the way that it was a year ago, putting that dividing line back, would make their house, I think, 7% over the allowable FAR.
And you're allowed to vary something.
Up to 15% for FAR, correct.
So this evening, like I said, I don't want to stop you from making an excellent presentation, but this seems like the time that we approve is there. And if there are no more questions, is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Let's have roll call.
Commissioner Carlson.
Yes.
Commissioner Elsesser. Commissioner Friedman.
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Yes.
Commissioner Novak.
Yes.
Commissioner Satter.
Yes.
And Chairman Rowan.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Congratulations for going back to the future.
We're going to a time machine, actually.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck with the project.
Thanks.
Or the non-project. Okay. So that was the last scheduled item on the agenda. This is public comment time. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to ask? I think your ability to work. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to ask any questions or talk to us about anything?
We're just here. We're presenting. I'll be here next month for design. I'm not quite there yet. Just wondering.
You're in December.
Yes, yes.
Watch out. Make sure it's disappointing towards you.
I thought I would bring some cookies.
These are good.
Okay, anybody, so we're going to have another meeting next month, so 2 in a row, kind of like the old days.
The next meeting is December 4th, and there'll be 2 items on the agenda.
Both zoning board.
Yes.
Oh, so I was complaining, because I got outvoted last month about the fence, that one of my pals was complaining to my wife about this, soon-to-be huge fence. So at some point, I want to do a spiel that I've already done about my views about fences as opposed to, fixing somebody's house. Fence is almost entirely about appearance. Glencoe has sort of an open plan, and so I tend to be against, fence variances. Appearance I tend to agree. And there's clear, absent the president moving in, there's no emergency reason for a fence, except for the last thing we heard. Anyway, next time we have a fence, these guys will have.
We know your record and your voting record on fences. I think it's kind of solid. No.
I'm going to try to persuade you to get it right.
For the record, I was here less than an hour ago.
I will note that we have not yet received a permit for the fence.
I told Larry about it, and I said that an issue is when we do a zoning variance, we're limited by a percentage. But when we do a fence, apparently we're not. And I said that seems to me to be a potential problem. That, there ought to be some limit on the size of the fence. And if you come in with some extraordinary thing, maybe you should say, have a special use permit that they did for example. Okay, is there a motion? And nobody has anything else?
How are you going to do the announcements in there? That's my point.
What have I forgotten? Oh, that's right. We had we needed the zoning board has a member that's appointed to represent the zoning board on the plan commission, and the president was asked John to do that. So now he has actually.
We need to vote on this issue again.
Right.
I Oh, so then you get to go, okay.
I'm gonna vote no next time. I changed my mind. A lot of different stuff.
Thank you for reminding me.
Whatever happened with, building, the company that wanted to,
Oh, the gentleman who wanted to.
the financial firm,
Yeah.
that building,
The
right?
Winnicke's thing, what's happening?
He actually, at some point after, shortly after the meeting, from what I understand, ended up pulling out of his contract.
I feel like that.
Yeah. So it never proceeded to the village board.
Hence the for sale sign.
That's
No,
what, that's there too.
it's sold again.
Yeah,
Like immediately, the guy, the next door neighbor bought it. And it's my understanding he's trying to figure out a restaurant. Oh, really?
That would be
They're
excellent.
still there.
Yeah. They probably haven't closed. But I think they're, unless it doesn't work out.
There's a lot more going on in Glencoe than in the old days, and we hope it works out. All right, well, was this what you thought it was going to be?
I'm guessing this was on the lower key end of the spectrum.
Sometimes. We had a lot of low key ones in a row and then had
Most-
two non-low key.
Most of them are, which is, you know, we want to get civilians in and out so they don't ruin their lives doing this stuff. And we want them, and my country, we want them to feel like they come in and ask the village for something history. Is there a motion? Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Yes, they are.
Motion's carried. Thank you, everyone.